So, against my explicit advice, Menno and Mike decided to do a live demo of Metaverse. So that's going to happen just now. I already introduced Menno. So Menno has spent the last half year in the Metaverse. Mike Buob, who is here, and Mike has spent the last, I would say, half year or year working with clients. So he worked with a client in the US, Starbucks, Procter & Gamble, to start experimenting with the business use of the Metaverse. And both of them are going to take you as an audience into an excursion into the corporate use of the Metaverse. So now I'm wondering, Menno, are we ready? Is it working?
It's not cast.
It's not working.
Maybe
That's why I said, that's why I was so against doing a demo, right? Why don't you listen to me, Menno? So, but it's your funeral, so go ahead. Yeah.
So first, hello everybody. First, let's set the expectations right at the lowest possible level. On your expectations of this demo, it could be a career-ending event for me. Definitely, it's just not going to work. Okay, then that's the expectations. But just be sure that if I fail or we fail, that we will take the chief internet officer of this hotel down with our fall. Okay, I've been speed testing the internet yesterday for the whole day, so we know this is not going to work. No expectations, just failure, end of career, end of the CIO of the hotel. Mike.
Hey, Menno.
Where are you? Are you there?
I'm here on stage.
Okay. What do you think? Can I play a game with you, or?
You cannot, unfortunately.
Okay, that's good. That doesn't matter. Then I will play alone. So I will have fun. You cannot see this, but maybe I can ask the guys back there to show the video as the backup. You definitely can't see me, but you'll see a 3D virtual space. I like this one, it's table tennis. I also like to do kickboxing, that's also very nice. Just be sure that your dog and your wife is not in the room when you do that. And this is one of these things that you actually, when you do this, and I look stupid, I know, that you think, wow, this is like playing table tennis, because you have, can you see the video? I can't see the video, so that's, because you got haptic feedback. So as soon as I do like this, I actually feel the ball on the bat, and I can go on and on and on. So this is actually really fun for me. I'm not sure whether you have fun, but you know, this is my party. It's my last party here at Sogeti Summit 2022, being the last version with Menno van Doorn, playing table tennis that you couldn't see. So this is failure, right on the spot. So Michiel, did you like the game?
No comment.
Oh, no comment. Yeah, okay, I was afraid you were going to say that. We sit next to each other in the plane, so we have a lot of time to do some coaching, I would say, afterwards. Looking already forward to your good advice. Yeah, leadership. Yeah, well, yesterday it was about coaching, today it's about leadership. So this is the fun part, but what Michiel said, so we have an excursion into the corporate metaverse, and I'd just like to show you a couple of examples. And I would like to start with KLM Air France. Just a couple of things in video with Werner Soeterman and Jay Maloney, my friends at KLM, invited me in their virtual office in Glue. So let's first just see how it looks like, okay? Just have a taste of a virtual surrounding here. It's a place called Glue. There are many different places that you can open your office. This is just one pick. And they like the idea that they can Kanban over there, be creative. And then they talked about, so what's the real reason that you're doing this? So, well, if you know KLM Air France, there's a head office in Amsterdam, there's a head office in Paris, and what they do, the management is flying over and over, back and forth. So that doesn't make much sense. So this is the business case. The management should go here, And that's Jay. And when I left that room, he shook hands with me. So actually, when you have those, you can shake hands and feel the hands. And there's something very special called spatial sound. Now, you've listened to the music yesterday? You liked it, yeah? That's spatial sound. And that's the same thing in this machine, because you can hear where everyone is. So if the singers make a walk, I can actually hear the person here, and that's a mindfuck. Because as soon as you hear someone from here, or another person here, you think you're in the same room. And that's why this is more real than, let's say, Teams or Zoom, because actually you are with them. So this is Jay and Werner here. And then they showed another example of a blend of virtual and real, when you need to learn how to communicate with, when you're up there with the ground floor, with your virtual hands, and making signals. And this is, all animated. So this is actually a virtual Schiphol that you're seeing here. And then they learn to do pushback trainings. Pushback trainings being important, taking the planes back here. And here you see the cockpit. And of course, it makes a lot of sense, and so do they, created a virtual cockpit. So normally you would first, now you will learn to fly a plane first in this virtual environment, before you go in the real world. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you don't want to get down with your airplane, but you also want to be sure that this is an exact copy of the real plane. I mean, if you put a wrong button up or down, then in the real world, so we are actually testing that environment as a company with AI. So just checking whether the thing over there is a real copy of the real thing over there. And the last example I would like to give of a application is their dream. So I asked Menno, so where will this end? And he said, Menno, it will end by people not flying at all anymore. A virtual journey into the metaverse. I asked what the thoughts of his boss were, but he couldn't give a good answer. But anyhow, just a tiny, maybe there's some music underneath the video, I'm not sure. This is one of those emotional videos that you can see a person that doesn't fly anymore, but her whole family lives in Norway. And on her birthday, this is her 100th birthday, she could actually visit the people in Norway in a way that she felt as if she really was there. And now maybe you're just laughing. This is an advertisement of, but you could also see it as a warp into the future. If you would go to Hego, just write down Hego. Me and my team, we make excursions. So you just pick a place. There's one person on the ground that will give you a tour, and you will be there with maybe 50 other people in a virtual world, and maybe 50 real people at that place, and you can communicate and ask questions, maybe go left, and she says, do you want to take a picture of the building? Yes, I would like to take a picture of the building. Hego, it's called. There are around 100 people doing that, and it's growing, and it's for free. I'm Dutch, that's great. But you have to give a tip, or you can give a tip. Okay, that's Hego. So this is KLM, and then I asked Werner, and I think you can jump in here, Mike. So what is the definition of the metaverse? What do you think that the metaverse is? And I don't care. I don't care at all. It's not a question that I'm very interested in. I just see the metaverse as technology that you can use to build your own metaverse. So just think about all the technology out there and just take a technology that is important for you and put it on. Like they have IoT, there's a LoRa network at Schiphol, so they know where their assets are. And now they're connecting the LoRa with the pushback training, so they're pushback training with the real airplanes. So it's more real than you can ever imagine. So that's I think I like this as, I would call it a best, not a best, but a good practice, because we don't know where it's going to end. But forget about the definition of the metaverse, it's not important at all. And you can confirm, Mike.
Yeah, so Menno, what I want to talk about, right? I mean, if we look back at the web, right? Web 1 to Web 2, when we first started getting into e-commerce and kind of your web presence, what we're seeing with clients is clients are willing to experiment now because they were sitting on the sidelines during the Web 1, Web 2, and they let others kind of dictate what the e-commerce or the web would be for their industry or for their types of organizations. So with these metaverse technologies now, it's much cheaper, right? You don't need servers and racks, right, that you did back then, very costly. You can experiment much cheaper in here, which is why a lot of our clients that we're working with are willing to experiment because they feel as if they're not doing it, they're going to let someone else do it for them. So they want a voice in shaping what the metaverse is for their company.
But are you talking about the definition, or you just jump in and take technologies and...
Jumping in, because there is no definition yet,
Okay.
right? I mean, you ask 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers of what the metaverse is.
And what do you think, what's the ultimate thing that makes the metaverse so special?
I mean, it's the experience, right? It's an immersive experience.
The experience?
Yes.
Would you agree that's the experience? I don't know. There's one person that agrees that it is actually the experience, and that's this one person. You recognize him.
Experiences, experience, 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 experiences, and experiences, experience, experiences, experience, experiences, 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 experience, experiences, experiences, experience, experience, experiences, experience, experiences, experiences,
Experiences.
experiences,
Experiences, experience. Experiences,
the experience, experiences,
Experiences. Experiences. Experience.
experience,
Much more with
stories. Game onto the table.
metaverse is
Experience, experiences,
experience.
experiences, experience, experience, the experiences, experiences, experiences.
This is just a marketing trick. You will only remember this, and this is our main message, of course. So, Mike, talking about the experience, can you give another example, maybe?
Yeah, so when we talk about the corporate or the industrial, metaverse training is a great use case, right? So Walmart in 2018 launched an initiative for all their associates by training folks in VR, right? And they saw an increase in the retention of that training. And studies have shown that learning in VR has much higher retention rates than traditional means.
And that's Walmart.
Yep.
But I know you're also working with a company, you cannot mention the name.
Yeah, so we're working with a global coffee company. There's one just to the right of this hotel if you walk out. But they saw during COVID, right? They had worker shortages, and when Charles Schultz or Howard Schultz, the CEO, kind of came back into the organization, he went out and talked to their employees in the field, and lack of training was the number 2 complaint from folks in the field, right? So what we did is we built a proof of concept for them to show them what this could be, and now we're moving that into a full-blown project.
Maybe you could show it, and I'll give you the clicker. Well, I'm up to my second point
Absolutely.
of failure, because I prepared the second point of failure here. So if you just show the example, I prepared this one.
Hello, human, and welcome to the VR Barista Trainer. To start you off, we're going to be learning how to make a shot of espresso. But before we begin, we're going to need a few things. Ta-da! Much better. Now first, you're going to need to grab that portafilter that just appeared and hold it under the coffee grinder. Be sure to keep that portafilter level so that it doesn't spill. While holding that there, with your free hand's index finger, you're going to press that top button.
So, this was a proof of concept we built rather quickly to sell the idea to this global coffee company. The full-blown product's going to have customers that you can interact with, how to handle those customer interactions. But I think, Christina, you mentioned sound and audio is very important, right? Because we can add things like in-store noise, the sounds of the equipment. But the benefit is now they can learn in this way how to operate the equipment, how to make the drinks before getting into the store, because that's a very stressful situation when they just throw people in and have them kind of train on the fly. So this is kind of almost left shifting the training so they're better prepared in the future. This is another one. Training in these emergency scenarios, right? So dangerous environments, because again, if you make a mistake out in the field, right, it could cause, you could get injured, others could get injured. So being able to have, walk folks through these dangerous scenarios before they get in the field, right? There's great use cases for VR training. And that's, I'd say, one of the biggest interests from our clients is, hey, can we do some learning, onboarding, or training for our associates, our employees? This person's working with natural gas, right? So you can see that, again, a mistake here could cost someone their life. But getting them familiar with these scenarios before they go out and do it in the field. And you can apply some gamification to this, like we're doing with Starbucks, where, again, people see scores, things they got right, things they got wrong, so that instant feedback. That way they can keep repeating the training until they master it.
I'm also in a dangerous environment here.
You are, be careful.
Yeah. Maybe people can already see it on the screen if I ask the technicians. Hey, Thijs.
Hey.
Let me first explain. This is our virtual office in Meta workrooms, and maybe Thijs, you can show us around a bit.
Yeah, I can give you a quick demo. You can change seats, of course. So I can pop around from your right to your left. If you don't like the room setting, you can change the table setting. Let me have a look.
And I see James on the wall.
Yeah, I redecorated a bit.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but we put James through an AI, made him some younger.
Yeah, he looks good.
What I also did is connecting my physical computer into this environment. So I can actually show you guys every app I want you to see. Or maybe give a presentation, go to the whiteboard.
Can you show some secret Sogeti data?
I don't know if I have any with me.
No, just kidding. And while you're showing around, maybe there's a question from the audience. Someone having a question for Thijs? Now the good thing I can't see you, so I don't know. But just shout. Is it fun?
This is fun. It works most of the times. Sometimes it's still a bit laggy, especially if the internet connection isn't good enough. But do
you think we have fun when we are together in the space?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we did a lot of cool stuff. We even did a podcast here. The thing I'm missing the most is the facial expressions. So I have no idea if you are smiling or crying, if you are mad at me. But that is coming, and I'm very curious how much nuances there will be in the facial expressions. Will it be really rudimentary, like just happy or sad, or will you get to see all the nuances in the emotions?
But that's coming.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will be detailed.
I hear David asking a last question. Why don't you turn off gravity? Like flying?
Yeah, that's a good question. Workrooms is very conservative. So it's an office setting. I don't have any freedom to walk around. And I think they decided to design it like this is because it feels like normal reality.
No, it's
so
because
it's
you don't
easy
have legs.
First step into the metaverse.
Okay. Thank you, Thijs. In the break, if you want to join, just come to me and we'll have you in our room. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Have fun.
Yeah. So talking about the metaverse, to make it easy, you could talk about industrial, corporate, consumer metaverse, and the corporate metaverse is building your own. It's a lot about building your own office. BMW is doing all three of them, I think.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah, so I can talk, right? So again, we talk corporate, industrial, consumer. So BMW, with the launch of a new car, they created this experience called BMW Joytopia, right? That's more of a consumer experience. And then next, Menno, if you can go on the more the industrial side. So this is a simulation, right? This is not real, but BMW uses this for their production plant planning, and they've seen a reduction in production planning time by over 30% by being able to do this simulation, right? And so think of it as a digital twin of their factories. They can do some what-if scenarios. They've trained those digital humans so they can work on worker ergonomics. There's a lot of benefits from this application for them. So again, a great use case of an industrial metaverse.
I think this is NVIDIA, isn't it?
It's NVIDIA's Omniverse, yes.
NVIDIA's Omniverse. And I can show you an example of a Dutch insurance company. Now, David, you talked about taking the augmented world into the virtual or vice versa, the boat example. And that's what Achmea is doing. They're taking their IT infrastructure to the metaverse. It's called Metropolis. And it's a visualization of the IT architecture of a insurance company in the Netherlands called Achmea.
Metropolis is dé manier om onze IT-architectuur in virtual reality goed te beleven en ook te begrijpen. Ik ben dit project gestart omdat ik denk dat onze IT-architectuur een van de meest complexe IT-architecturen in Nederland is. En wij hebben eigenlijk geen mogelijkheid om dit leuk en innovatieve manier te laten zien. Dus dit is niet zomaar een VR waar je een beetje om...
So my question, so I have some doubts about this application. Do you think this is an interesting use case? Putting your IT infrastructure in a virtual world? No, definitely, okay. They did it for several reasons, by the way, also for getting new people, hiring new people and showing them around. So if you do want to talk about the definition of the metaverse, I would advise you to go back not to the year 2016, but to the year 2006, when there was a gathering at Stanford called the Metaverse Roadmap. The website is still up. It looks a little bit archaic, but just Google all the terms. And they have sketched out that this is the metaverse. And I don't think much have changed really since then. So it's about you. It's intimate as an avatar. It's also whatever you were doing on the social media, that was included back then. It's the mirror world and it's the augmented worlds. So these four are the different tastes. Our pick, this is what we have constructed, is a sort of overview of all the stuff you can do with the metaverse. So just start by picking something that you would like to do, like telework. We've seen the example of Christina. I have a favorite. So if you look at all the things that you can do with metaverse technology, my number one would be education. I think it makes a lot of sense. The universities or metaversities, this is actually one thing that Meta is doing. They are giving away their goals to the universities. There are already 10 universities in the US building a complete virtual university. That's my pick. What would be your pick?
I would say entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so again, if new ways to socialize, right? Again, think of concerts, playing games, really immerse yourself in that. So, Menno, if you can go to the next slide. New business models are going to be kind of birthed out of this metaverse. This is, two folks in kind of a virtual suite in an NBA game together across town in a headset watching an NBA game live, right? So think about, Broadway shows, concerts, right? I'd be willing to pay a small fee for that to be able to sit front row to those, right? And hang out with friends in this virtual suite. Again, new business models that come out. And if I can leave everyone with kind of one thought, right? Think of how much that you spend as an organization on your digital, right? Transformation, right? So your web, your mobile, other things. You're going to have to spend that, if not more, on your metaverse, right? Yeah. Industrial, corporate, or consumer metaverses.
And don't bring that money to Accenture. It's our money, come to us. A final word, Michiel, you can join. This is only advertising. So if you would like to continue the conversation with us, there are two ways you can do so. One is we publish a weekly newsletter on the internet culture, the crazy stuff that Sander has shown. And it's all the latest, so NFTs, Decentraland, all that kind of stuff you can find there. And we have started a podcast called Playing with Reality, and you see here all my, I can call them now my friends, Michiel, that were on the show. You see here, maybe 2 people that you recognize from this event. But also Philip Rose, the avatar, who is the founder of Second Life. And Second Life is still alive and kicking. Or, and that's the last person I would like to address, this person, gentleman over here, Jerry Eitel. And he is a chief metaverse officer. And he is a business veteran, I would say, almost 70 years.
So Menno, after this advertisement for your newsletter, let's see just how much of your message actually resounded with the public, and just ask them a question. Very simple. After hearing all these failed demos, and some worked, some didn't work, do you see clear possibilities for supersite or for metaverse in your organization? Mm-hmm. And the answer is just simple yes or no, or not sure, but I will keep an open mind. So it's very positive. I'm surprised. Even with your crappy demo, Menno, hardly anybody says no.
So what the lesson is, you can do crappy demos.
Yes, maybe that's the lesson.
But I'm not surprised, by the way. Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Are you surprised?
No, but well, I'm surprised how well you recovered from the failed demo. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Menno, for taking us on this excursion into the metaverse. Thank you.
Even dat ik hier daar sta.
Ja.